Hi, and welcome to Crafts with Ash DIY and Decor. My name's Ashley, and today I'm going to bring you 5 amazing must-try Halloween DIYs. The best part about all of these is that they are so easy to make and very affordable. So let's jump right in. For the first DIY, I have no words. This turned out so amazing. So first I went to Hobby Lobby and grabbed a clay pot. This ended up being $2.50 because it was 50% off. Then I just had my husband go in the backyard and pick me up a large stick. I sawed down the bottom so it would kind of squeeze into the hole of the clay pot. Now you can see there that I already have some tumbling tower blocks positioned. I glued those on there right next to the hole, so that way the stick had something to kind of hold on to, or glue to. Now I did use hot glue for this. You probably want to use like E6000, something like that, but honestly hot glue seemed to work, and I use Gorilla hot glue. So what I did was you do have to put a generous amount of hot glue in there, and then just douse it and just put as much hot glue as you think is necessary. Then what I did to give it extra support was add tumbling tower blocks to around the stick, kind of like boxing it in, and that way it just helped keep it up. Now my stick was completely bent, and you're gonna see that at the end when you see the final reveal. Now I want to warn you, these angles are very rough. I'm doing this in my basement, which is a mess, so I apologize about that, but this was just the only way that I could record it so you could see what I was doing. Once I felt that I had enough support on the clay pot with the tumbling tower blocks, I went ahead and took a child-size luau skirt from Hobby Lobby, and I am just going to start wrapping it around, starting at one end and just making sure that it covers. Now, if I were to do this again, and I still might go back and do this, I would have gotten 2 of these skirts just to make it a little thicker. It worked, but I just think that it could use another skirt, because what I had to do was actually bring a lot of it to the front, so in the back the clay pot is obvious, like you can see it, and so that's why I think that I might add another luau skirt in the future. But I just wrapped and hot gluing as I go, and just made sure that the end of the little rope there that the skirt is tied onto ends up in the back. But you can see I'm kind of fluffing it too to make sure that all of my raffia is in the front, and that way, it covers that clay pot in the front. Once that was all wrapped, I decided to take this nautical rope that I got from the Dollar Tree and just wrap it around the top where that string is from the luau skirt. Next, I'm going to go in with a mixture of brown paint and black paint and just dirty up the raffia. And then this is where my phone actually ran out of memory and it stopped recording, so I apologize. So now I'm going to jump to the next part of this DIY. But don't worry, like I said, you're going to see it all at the end. So now what I'm going to do is take this little sign from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to rip off the stand on the back, and then I'm going to give it one coat of white chalk paint. Now I am going to go back and paint this black, but I just thought that I could cover it first with white chalk paint since it's a little thicker and it would hide the words better. Next, I took this wooden arrow, again from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint this arrow black. Lastly, I'm going to take this sign from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to take one of those little arrows and I'm going to paint it black. However, this one should have been white. So now I realized it was supposed to be white. So I'm simply just painting over it, which, you know what? It's fine. I love how the white covered the black because I still let some of that black show through and I liked how that looked. And then I'm going to go back to that white sign and paint that one black. So now I have two big black arrows and then that skinny small white arrow. Now I cut out the words Sleepy Hollow, Elm Street, and Salem from my Cricut, and I'm going to apply each little street, I guess, or location on each of the arrows. Now, if you don't have a Cricut, that's okay. You can use stickers, you can use a stencil, you can use rub-on transfers. There's so many different options as alternatives to a cutting machine. So don't think because you don't have one, you can't do this. You can even handwrite. I just definitely don't like my handwriting, so that was not happening. All right, so now we need to make these dirty and rough these up. So for the white arrow, I just went ahead and dry brush some black paint around the perimeter. And I'm really focusing on those corners there. And then I'm going to lightly brush over the word as well, just to kind of dull down that orange. Next, I'm going to take some antique wax that I dipped a baby wipe in, and I'm just going to kind of smear it all over the arrow, especially on the letters, on the white letters, so that way it just looks kind of dirty. And I'm going to do this for the Sleepy Hollow and the Elm Street signs. Then I went ahead and took some white paint and I'm going to dry brush around the edges of these arrows. Now, once the paint was dry, I went back over the white paint with the antique wax and it looked like that the edges had been sanded down. So it really made it a super cool effect and I really loved how it looks. Real quick, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to my YouTube channel. If you love all things home decor and DIYs, you came to the right place. I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you love all of these ideas. And don't worry, I have many more to come in the future as well. So definitely hit that subscribe button so we can hang out more often and turn on those notifications so you get notified when I upload the new videos. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see. That way YouTube will show you more of what I post. Again, thanks for stopping by and let's continue on with these spooktacular DIYs. So once all of my signs were done, now it's just simply time to hot glue them on my stick. And again, I want to apologize about this angle here. There was just no great place to do it. So I am just hot gluing them kind of just, you know, topsy-turvy, kind of crazy. And I'm going to go ahead and do them in different directions, kind of at an angle. And I am just dousing this stick with hot glue. Now you can use wood glue, that would work too, but I do go back and kind of reinforce each sign on the back of it as well. Next, I'm going to take some fairy lights and I am just going to start at the top and wrap it in between each one of the signs going all the way down, including around the broom part of my broom as well. And this is a really cool standing broomstick directional sign for my front porch, and the reason why I used a clay pot was to weigh it down so it didn't get knocked over because it was pretty heavy. But stay tuned because you'll see the whole thing at the end. Hey, did you know that I have another YouTube channel? Well, I do. That channel is called Life with Ash, and it is a more behind-the-scenes vlog-style channel all about real life. If you love all things home decor, room makeovers, room refreshers, home decorating, hauls, shopping, organizing, decluttering, cleaning, mama life, mama hacks, and everything in between, this is definitely the channel for you. Like I said, I keep it real, and this is a no judgment zone. I live in leggings. My hair is usually in a messy bun. My current scent is spit up and poop, and you'll hardly ever see me with makeup. So if you can relate to any of that, head on down to the description box for the link to my other channel, Life with Ash, and come hang out with me over there. All right, for DIY number 2, I'm going to start off with one of these clear ornaments that I got in a pack from the Dollar Tree, and I am just going to give it one good coat of white Waverly chalk paint. Next, I'm going to take some lime green paint and I'm going to draw a circle around the inside of my eyeball. This is what we're making, is an eyeball. Now, when you make your circle, you want to make sure that the top of the ornament is facing down. I hope that makes sense. So the part that you would actually hang a string from, it needs to be facing down. So I did go ahead and give this about 3 coats of that lime green, and then after that was all dry, I went in with black to make the inner part of the eyeball, and I just made a smaller circle, and I think I did about 2 coats of the black. Next, I'm going to go in with a really skinny brush and some red paint, and I'm just going to make some veins in my eyes going all the way around my eyeball. Next, to give my eye some dimension, I'm going to dry brush some black paint around the black circle on the green part of the eyeball. Next, I'm going to take 2 tumbling tower blocks, although I end up using 3, so just do 3 from the start. And I'm going to hot glue one on top of the other, and then I'm going to paint all of it with black paint. Next, I took what I think is supposed to be like a magic potion ball or magic ball, or I can never think of the right term for that. And I'm going to take the lid off, and then I'm going to hot glue my stack of tumbling tower blocks on the inside of my lid. Now, right here is when I realized that I actually needed a third tumbling tower block, so I just went ahead and glued that on and then painted that black. And then on top of the tumbling tower block is where we're going to hot glue our eye. Now, I took off the silver part, like the part that has the little ring to actually hang it on your tree, and so it's just the bottom. Now I'm going to take another strand of fairy lights, and I'm going to stuff them inside my little bulb and then simply just screw my eyeball inside the bulb. Now you do want to leave the part that turns the little battery pack from the lights. You want to leave that hanging out, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that in just a minute. So then you can go ahead and screw in your eyeball. That sounded really weird. All right, so now we're going to take this mirror that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I really wasn't digging the silver glitter, so I just took some black paint and painted all the way around to cover up that glitter. Once that was all dry, I'm going to hot glue it to the top of my little potion ball. Oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank of what that's supposed to be? What is it called? Ugh, oh, whatever. And before I did that, though, I did have to pull off these little grippers, and then you want to put a generous amount of hot glue right on the top and hot glue your little mirror. Now, you don't have to use a mirror. You can use like a little dish or whatever you can find. This is just what I had that I decided to use, and it worked out perfectly. So now what I'm going to do with that battery pack is I'm actually going to glue it underneath that mirror. Now you want to make sure that the screws are sticking out, so that way if you have to change the batteries, you can. Now I really wasn't loving the bottom of that lid, so I took some of the spider web ribbon that I had, and I am just simply going to wrap the lid with that. And that's it to this DIY. Now I have a really cool, spooky, creepy candle holder that I can add to my apothecary display or maybe my coffee bar. I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but wait till the end to see how this came out displayed with the candle. It's super cool. For the next DIY, I'm going to take this little broom that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take off the scarecrow and both of those leaves. They do come off, you just got to use a little elbow grease to go ahead and pull them off. Then what I'm going to do is paint this broom with that black paint. Now you can take it and spray paint it black. I just didn't have any, so this is all I had. So I just decided to go ahead and paint this entire thing. Next, I'm going to take some of these purple flowers that I had in my stash, and I am going to hot glue them around the rope part of the broom. Now, my dining room is like a witch's lair, and my tablescape for the dining room is purple and black and silver, and I really think that I just love those colors together. So I thought that I would make a really neat decor piece to kind of go along with the tablescape, and I think I know exactly where I'm going to put it too. I saw something like this at Michael's, and it was expensive, so I was like, yeah, I could probably make that. So I did. So for $1.25 and everything I had, all the accessories I already had, I was able to dupe it. So now it's just a matter of adding accessories to this. So I'm going to add some little black branches. I'm going to add some little berries, a spider, and then I'm going to go in with some Halloween ribbon that I had, and we are just going to basically dress this up. Now, if you want this to stand on its own, you will have to make a base for it. I'm just going to kind of prop it up against the wall, and I think it's going to work out perfect. For the fourth DIY, I am going to make a sign for over my coffee bar. So I took one of these longer black signs, but I really liked the size of this love sign right here. So I am just using it to measure. Now, this is one of those projects that started one way and then went in a completely different direction. The reason why I have two boards there is because I originally was using two boards to make a bigger sign, but you're going to see a little bit later in the project that I end up just going down to the one side. But to go ahead and cut this down, I'm just using my straight edge and my knife to score it, and then you can see that I just bend it back and forth a few times and it'll just snap. Now you do have to kind of put some pressure into your cuts, and it should break pretty easily once you've scored it enough. So then once I go ahead and break it off, I am going to just take my knife and kind of clean up the edges. Now, I don't really care if the edges aren't perfect because this is going to be like a spooky sign anyways, and I wanted it to look sanded around the edges anyways. So I am just doing the best I can, but once I have the majority of it cut off, I am going to take my sanding block and I'm going to sand around the rough edge. But if some of that brown is showing through, I am totally okay with that. In fact, I want it to. I even took sandpaper and went around the perimeter of the black board to rough the edges, all the edges up. Next, I'm going to take this sign from the Dollar Tree, and again, by using my knife, I'm going to go ahead and score the bottom because I just want these potions. So then I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. Now, this is where the project started to change a little bit, and I'm going to show you kind of where. So I do end up cutting each one of those potions into individual pieces. But you'll see that in just a little bit, but I don't want to jump ahead of myself. Now, from my Cricut, I went ahead and cut out the words Witch's Brew, and then I did served fresh, open daily. Now, this actually is the part where everything started changing because this is when I decided to just go ahead and use just that top board right there. So in a minute, you're going to see me break off the bottom board, but for now, I'm going to go ahead and apply all of my words. So now that I broke off that bottom board, now I have to go in with my sandpaper again and rough up this bottom edge because this was glued together to the other board. So now what I'm going to do is just take a brush and dry brush my black paint over the orange words to dull them down just like we did in the first DIY. I want this to be fun, but I kind of want this to be spooky as well, and I think that this is the perfect way to do it. Just kind of dulls down that brightness of the orange. So now I'm going to go back to those potion bottles, and like I said, I did end up cutting these all individually, and to do this again I just used my knife, and then I'm going to take that sanding sponge and I'm going to sand down the rough edge, and then to kind of cover that a little bit, I'm going to take my black paint and I'm just going to paint around the edges of each one of my potion bottles after they are individually cut out, and I did this for all 4 of them. Now it's time to assemble our sign. So all I'm going to do is hot glue 2 of the potion bottles on each side of my sign. Now I did kind of offset them and they are hanging over the side just a little bit, but I really loved how this came out. Now, I did switch up these bottles a little bit, which you'll see in the final reveal, but it was one of those things where I turned off the camera and just stared at it, thinking something didn't look right, and then just went ahead and fixed it. But I stated earlier, I love this sign, and I cannot wait to hang it over my coffee bar. All right, so next we are going to move to the last project, and we're just going to give this broom a little glow up. I thought it might be fun to make a little name card holder for every spot on my witch's dinner party table. So I went ahead and took off the ribbon that came with the broom, but I am going to be using it again, and then I'm going to just wrap some twine around where the ribbon was, where it's being all held all together, and I'm just going to hot glue that down. Now I am kind of crisscrossing the twine. Now, was this absolutely necessary? Probably not, because I am going to add ribbon, which is going to cover it. But, you know, I guess it just added another layer. So once all of this twine was glued down, I went ahead and took my brush and painted it black. Next, I'm going to take that ribbon again from the Dollar Tree, but I don't want the outside of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out just the inside, and then I'm going to tie it around where I just wrapped that twine. And then I'm going to take this purple ribbon and that came off of that broom originally, and I'm going to tie it in just a simple bow, and then I'm going to hot glue that on the ribbon. Then I'm just going to accessorize this with a little spider, and this was a spider ring, but I went ahead and cut off the ring part, but I really loved the purple gem in the middle because I think it'll go perfectly with my tablescape. Next, I took one of these chalkboard signs that I actually had in my stash, and I'm going to hot glue it to the top of my little stick. And then to hide that hole, I'm going to take a bat ring, and again, I'm going to cut off the ring part and then just hot glue the bat over that hole. Then you can just take chalk and write the person's name, and I think that this is so cute, and that was just a really simple way to take one of the Dollar Tree little brooms and just kind of give it a glow up and also make it into something functional. So after this DIY, these DIYs are complete, and I love how they came out. Here's the final reveal. I am obsessed with how all of these DIYs came out, but I do have to say, I think my favorite is a tie between the big witch's broom on my front porch and the witch's brew sign. I love how each one of those came out, and I just think they're so fun and just amazing. So you're going to have to let me know down in the comments which one of these was your favorite DIY. Will you be trying any? Do you decorate for Halloween? Do you make DIYs for Halloween? I want to know all the things. I think that my taste is more like spooky cute. I don't like, you're not going to find blood and gore and all that. In my house, I do have two little ones, so I do have to kind of reel that in just a little bit. But I still love like the creepy, spooky effect. And here's my little commercial for you. On my other channel, Life with Ash, I will be doing a big Halloween decorating series, so you definitely don't want to miss that. In fact, I have a decorating marathon about to hit on that channel of the decorating I did last year at basically almost 9 months pregnant. So if you want to kind of see a sneak peek of what I have in store for Halloween decor this year, then hop on over there and watch for that video. It should be going up shortly. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you got a lot of ideas and inspiration on some DIYs that you can make for spooky season. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so we can hang out. Turn on those notifications so you're notified of future videos. And hey, if you loved what you saw, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It truly would help my channel to grow. Plus, it tells YouTube you love my content and you want to see more. Well, until I see you again, I'll craft with you soon. Bye!